Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Venna Angelita and my ID 1932-0040. And now, I want to talk about the cooperative principle. First, I will introduce you to a philosopher who introduced this theory. He is Herbert Paul Grace. He is a philosopher and linguist who was born on March 13, 1913 in Birmingham. Paul Grace is a true scientist. He spent his life on development of science. Grace is very active in holding discussions, giving lectures, and write down his idea until the end of his life. Grace introduced the term conversational implicator and considered that actually everyone does the process of conversational implicator all the time. However, most don't realize it. Grace was the first to note the features of existing language used in everyday life, and also the first to present a philosophical analysis on it. Grace started off by noting that the conversation was not on true level. It's a collaboration between the speaker and the interlocutor. From there, he formulated the theory of the cooperative principle. The cooperative principle is how people achieve effective conversational communication in general social situations. This principle explains how the speaker and the speaker act cooperatively and accept each other to understand in a certain way. The cooperative principle is a principle of conversation that was proposed by Grace, stating that participants expect that each will make a conversational contribution such as is required at the stage at which it occurs by the accepted purpose or direction of the talk exchange. Next, there are four main principles that Paul Grace has, which are called maxims. There is maxim of quantity, maxim of quality, maxim of relevance, and maxim of manner. The first thing I will discuss is the maxim of quality. Maxims of quality don't say something that's not true. Don't say something that has no evidence. It means is that if you say something, it must be true and must have proof. The example is, kamu lihat dompetku nggak? Jawabannya, lihat, itu ada di kasur. Jadi the answer given by the speaker clearly tells where his wallet is. Next is maxims of quantity. Maxim of quantity provides enough information, not a little and not a lot. It must be in accordance with the portions. The example is, when someone asks, "Do you have a boyfriend?" and the answer is, "Yes, I do." The answer given by the speaker is clear and quite appropriate for the portion. And maxims of relevance. Maxims of relevance give something relevant. For example, when the waiters ask, "How do you like your salad?" and my answer is, "Without carrot, please." It can be seen from the example. The answer is very relevant because what is being asked is salad. Of course, salad has various kinds of vegetables, and the speakers answered without carrots, and that is relevant answer. And the last is maxims of manner. Maxims of manners is to avoid unclear expressions. For the example, "Do you love me?" And the answer is, "Of course I do." So in this example, it is clear from the speaker's question, "Do you love me?" The question is clear and unambiguous. The next material is implicator when the maxim is violated, but there is meaning in the violation. There is floating the maxim, violating the maxim, infringing the maxim, and opting out the maxim. The first thing we will discuss is floating the maxims. Floating the maxims is the speaker doesn't comply with the terms of cooperation but expect others to understand what he is saying. It is means violates but expect others to understand. First is floating the maxim of quality. It is when the speaker says something that is not real and is also sarcastic, but the other person understands the meaning of the utterance. Second is floating maxims of quantity. It is a situation when the speaker asks a question but is answered with different information to divert the speaker's questions. Next is floating maxims of relevance. It is when the speaker says something irrelevant but there is something behind it, and the other person will understand what it means. Next is floating maxims of manner. This occurs when the utterance spoken by the speaker sounds ambiguous and unclear. Next is violating the maxims. Violating the maxims is when speakers intentionally violate so that the interlocutor doesn't understand what they want to say. Speakers deliberately provide insufficient information and say something irrelevant. Next, infringing and opting out. Infringing is when a person has a deficiency in speaking. Opting out is a violation if the speaker intentionally makes a mistake because of the reason for the code of ethic or legal problems. Okay, so that's all the presentation I can deliver today. Thank you very much for your attention. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.